surprises. Every budget engine swap has them, but mine was a $700 surprise.
In the last video, we found out that almost none of our motor mounts from the K-Swap motor mount kit that we got on eBay actually worked for the K24A4 with the 5-speed from the Accord. I believe these are the same from an element, so if you have one of those, they won't work for you either. After some research, I found Hasport sells a kit of motor mounts specifically for the K24A4 5-speed. It's $700.
More than you can afford, pal.
$1,000 motor swap challenge that we're doing here, that would be murder to our budget. So we are not going to do that. We are going to take the $107 eBay mount kit. We are going to cut it up, and we are going to beg, borrow, and steal. Not really. I'm going to be able to do, I think, everything with what came with it, and very little bit of metal on the end. We're going to weld up our own mounts. I'm going to show you what I'm doing, and we're going to get done. Now, alright, I got in the engine bays, but now I gotta get out.
Before we could start fitting new mounting tabs to the mounts, we first had to take our billet motor mount and cut off the bolt tabs for the RSX transmission. Obviously the Accord transmission is different than the RSX, so I cut down the RSX bracket and then I put it in here, lined it up, and kind of drew out a piece of metal for this. Now I got one hole drilled. The other one, of course, my battery died in the drill before it was finished, but I got them just one tack on here, that way I can adjust this a little bit and then make sure it fits, and then I will finish TIG welding it. So that's it. Once the battery's finished charging, we'll get that in there, double check the fitment, and then we'll burn this thing together. So I have that kind of lined up like this, holes drilled. I got a little gap to fill there, no problem, just gives room for penetration. Marked it out on the other piece, so I'll take that and I will weld that up, bring it back. Might have to open the holes up a little bit. I drilled them pretty much exact size right now. That will be it. Alright, as I tightened that up, the jack stand came loose from under the transmission, so I'd say that that's holding weight there. So that'll be nice because I want to jack the car up and get the header in before I finalize the T-mount in the back. So let's do that next. Now that we have the transmission bracket bolted in, and technically this one is riding on the frame rail, we are going to try to jack the car up and slide the header in from the bottom side. Whoever had the Accord before me welded the header, the two pieces together, so I can't split it. I don't really know if it's worth trying to hunt down a gasket and making it two pieces again where I can assemble it. I think I can jack the car up and slide it in from the bottom, but I guess this is where we find out how this holds up. We are going to jack up the car and hope that the motor goes with it and doesn't try to rock or tip or anything like that, so wish me luck. Alright, so now I'm just going to take this and tip it on its side and hopefully have room to slide it under the car. And then when I get it up to the opening, I'm hoping that with this flex joint, I will be able to kind of maneuver it up between the subframe and the intermediate shaft, and there's only one way to find out. Alright, so I've slid the gasket onto the stud that's in the motor to get it lined up, and then we'll get the header up on here and then start putting the bolts in, and hopefully it clears the cross member. It'd help if I lined the gasket up properly. If you guys watched the last Honda build video, you would have seen that we started a shirt giveaway. We're giving away this shirt, Marketplace Motor Swap. It's a custom shirt. It's going to be just for you, and it's going to be made in your size. All you have to do to enter is drop a comment below. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Roast me. It seems like people like to call me Chris Bassett. I've been called Skinny John Cena. I've been called, what's that guy they say John Cena looks like? I'll put it right here. I can't think of it right now. Anything you want to say. If you live in the lower 48 in the United States, you drop a comment below. I'd prefer if you subscribe too. You're in the running. We'll do a random draw. And the winner will get a shirt made just for them, shipped just to them, in their size. So why don't you drop a comment below? Let me know what you think. This seems to be our final resting place for the motor. Transmission's hanging that side. I have sitting on the frame. It seems like it's in a good spot to tack weld it in. But first, I'm going to build the T-mount. Once I have the motor where I want, I'm going to build the T-mount to the back. I was actually able to cut up the one that came for the RSX transmission, and I'm going to reorient some things on it and weld and tack them together in the car. That way, it's all lined up. Take it out, finish weld it, grind whatever I need to make it have clean edges, and then paint it and get it back in. The game plan for the T-bracket is I cut it into 3 pieces.
No more, no less. 3 shall be the number.
And then I am going to put this up onto the mount on the frame, and then these are going to conveniently weld to the side like this and bolt right up to the transmission. And then once they're in and everything's tightened up and we got the engine sitting how we want, we will tack it all together, get it out of there, weld it, and then make it look nice. You know, according to YouTube, 94% of my viewers are not subscribed. So if you like this kind of content and see people building stuff, especially, you know, barefoot people in their driveway, hit that subscribe button. Do me a favor. Let's get this mount out. Let's get it fully welded. Whew. When they thread out by hand, that's a good sign, right? All right, so I have the mount back bolted in after putting some finishing welds on it. My other camera was dead and we were live streaming, so if you want to catch any of that nonsense, we live streamed it. But I've got these tabs made that bolt to the engine block to give it, you know, just one more layer of, you know, torsion and hold on it. So now that I have them bolted on, I've got it lined up here. I'm going to burn a couple welds on to hold them in place, unbolt this thing, final weld it, grind it, paint it, make it look nice. The reason I'm saying grind it is because, like, I just cut sharp angles off and I'll round everything out nice. Anything that overhangs like that, get that taken care of, and then we can take this out and put it in one last time. A friend of mine would describe this as far from nice, but nice from far. So honestly, it doesn't look any worse than anything that China would have sent me. It doesn't look any worse than something Honda would have necessarily done. It's just not fancy. So, but we made it for free with just what we had on here and 6 inches of some flat stock. So we're gonna get it in one final time, and then we will do that front mount and be done with mounting.
Riding through dust clouds and barren wastes, galloping hard on the plains.
And just like that, we've taken our $107 eBay motor mount kit and we made it work in the place of a $700 Hasport kit. Now, would the Hasport kit be nicer? 100%. But this is a budget build, and for a $1,000 build, when you have a $500 motor transmission, you cannot spend $700 on a set of mounts. Plus, I kind of like to see if these things are doable, because sometimes some of you guys don't have $700 for a set of mounts, but you can squeak these in, and with some help from some friends or by yourself, you can fabricate them to do the job.
Just a couple of welds in here. The Frankenstein T-mount. And of course, our nice TIG welded aluminum trans mount. The time had come to see if the swap axles we bought on eBay also only fit an RSX tranny, or if we were going to be in luck.
All right, it said this was a possibility on the swap axles. I think it's just each transmission's slightly different. It said that if things are tight, I might need to switch the outers from this axle to that axle. And on that other side, I got it in and it would run. It's definitely tighter. This side though, to get it tight in the hub, you can see it's pretty far in there right now while it's in basically its resting place. I would need to really pull this and extend the CV joints themselves. So I think I'm gonna take a look at both ends and see what it's gonna take to swap these, I guess. I looked, and what it meant is literally to leave the inners in transmission and pull the shafts out with the boot and then flop it from side to side, because the shaft's a little bit longer on that side than it is on this side. I looked, you could put it in and it would run, but I wouldn't want to put a lot of power on it because it's really extending that inner joint. So I guess I got to pop that apart and pop the other side back apart. So that's not my favorite. So this was the passenger and that was the driver. And if you look really closely, they're just slightly longer on this end. That one I just left the socket in the intermediate shaft. It's just gonna be easy for me. So I just gotta pop that one off and swap it all over, get it back in.
Now that we have the K24 fully mounted in the car, it's time for us to get into things like plumbing. The D16 throttle cable is not long enough, so I'm going to see if I can steal it from the Accord. We got to get the coolant lines in, we got to mount the radiator, we need to get the fuel pressure with a return hooked up on the firewall, and then we need to build AN lines using our stainless hose kit that came with it. So I've never done that before. That's going to be exciting, but I don't know how much you guys have been following my channel and the shorts that I post, but I have been itching since getting back into a golden era import to bring back the 2000s era car culture that I kind of came of age in. And I'm talking Need for Speed Underground, Need for Speed Underground 2, and the first Fast and Furious series. We're going to put a wild paint job on this. We are going to keep going with the K24. I possibly have a turbo coming for that. We haven't even got this thing running. Let's get this thing running first before we talk about that. I actually have a full suspension kit we're going to put in this in the following video. Sneak peek. But we need to get the wiring, we need the plumbing, we need to get this thing running. So I have to take a few more parts out of the Accord. We got to get that throttle cable in. I do want to run cruise control. I got to see if I can maybe tuck it up, the cruise control module from the K24 up under the core support so it's not visible. It's just going to be a cable coming out to run the throttle. Yeah, a lot of stuff happening. But I have this motor mounted now, and I'm going to change something because I want this thing to look like a car from the cover of Import Tuner magazine, like it's 2005. Hit subscribe. Watch it in the next one. Got our shift cables ran through the firewall right there, nice and straight, kind of a clean shot. And I realized after I put the grommet on that this needs to go on through the cables. So I need to take them off like transmission again to put these through that firewall. There's the grommet. Hooray.